Hey everybody, it's Audrey. Thanks for coming to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Today I have a page for Hip Kit Club and I am using the May kit, and specifically I am focusing on using the May color kit. So I had started playing around with this before I recorded because I wasn't sure if this idea was going to work, and I follow through with it. So let me tell you what's going on here. I have a piece of acetate, and this is just like overhead transparency paper you can buy at an office supply store. I have my May Color Kit stamps. I have the May Color Kit paints, which are the Vicky Bouton paints, and a brayer, and a piece of, well, this is actually an old Silhouette Cameo matte cover that I use for like rolling paint and stuff. And I am stamping with the paint. So I am taking the brayer and spreading the paint out really thin. I have my stamp on an acrylic block, and I am stamping on the acetate. And the reason that I'm doing this, I was thinking about making layered, like some layered circular clusters with these stamps. So there's all different size circles in this stamp set. And I thought, it would be kind of cool to see the different layers. And I thought, well, maybe if I stamped on acetate, you could see the different layers. So I am just experimenting. It's not as crisp as I want, and which is fine, because I don't mind kind of the messy look. And when you are stamping with the paint on the shiny surface of the acetate, it's a little slippery, so the stamp tends to move a little bit. So it's not a perfectly crisp and clear image, but again, that's okay. So I stamped with the dark pink, the blue, and the green paints, and then I got some black StazOn ink, which is super dried up because I've probably had it for 8 years. I can't believe it actually still works. I hardly ever use it. And I'm stamping on the acetate because it won't smudge on the acetate, and it stamps okay, pretty good. I don't actually end up using the black ones, but I thought I might use some of the black shapes. So I just take some of the different stamp shapes here, and I'm going to set those aside to dry. So I had all of this paint on this mat here, and I thought I would be ashamed to waste it. So I take my brayer, and I am just going to kind of do a stroke, I guess, a roll of paint across some white cardstock. And I was just kind of playing around. This wasn't part of my initial plan. I thought I was going to be using some pattern papers for the background. But as I put this together, I really love how it looked. And I especially liked how overlapping these colors, like overlapping the pink and blue there, kind of created that purple, and it looks like a kind of a pretty rainbow. So I love the overlap of these colors. So I'm going to try to use it. So I have both of those sitting aside to dry now, and I was going to add lots of more pops of color to this page. So I took this piece of pattern paper, which is kind of a scallop print with lots of different colors, and I am taking the dies that come with the stamp set. So the stamp set is not just stamps, it's stamps and dies, and they're just circle shapes, and I'm cutting out different circles of color from the scallop circles. I didn't want to be able to see the entire scallop in the shape, if that makes any sense. I just wanted bits of color. So I punched out a whole bunch of those, and then I took some other pattern papers, and I'm going to punch out different size circles of different colors. And I don't end up using any of the colorful ones on this page, but I definitely intend to on another page because I love the little bits of color in those little circles. Okay, so this is just a lot of me using my Sizzix and my Big Shot, so I'm going to kind of fast forward here. So as I was going through and cutting all this, I noticed off to the side, because I have my kit completely dumped out on my desk, the lace cut papers, or the die cut papers that come in the kit this month. There is this grid pattern paper, there's a chevron pattern, a star pattern, a flower pattern. So they're just die cut papers, and I thought, I wonder if I could cut these with the dies. I did it, and I love how they look. So these little circles that have the grid pattern on them are cut from the die cut paper that comes in the kit, and I love that. So that wasn't something I was planning, and I really am happy how that looks. So I have cut out the stamped pieces on the acetate. the ones that I had stamped with the paint, and I layered them over a couple of the colored circles. So I had tried to put on some of the more colorful circles, and it was just too much color. So I decided to go ahead and just stick with some of the single tone papers and varying sizes of those circles, and then let those kind of grid cut circles be the interest element there. I added the little piece of black and white stripe paper. I love black and white stripe like this. I love adding it just as a small, I just think it adds such a punch to a page, especially when you have a page that's a lot of colors. Adding a black and white strip like this just kind of brings your eye to the focal point. So I'm going to cut out a few more of these acetate painted stamped circles. I don't use these all, so I'm going to save some for another project, but I really love how they look. I tried to layer a couple over like the other colors, like, you know, the pink and the green, but I kind of liked having the tone-on-tone colors there. So I punched some yellow circles on the bottom that came from a piece of the pattern paper, and I punched a darker pink at the top just to kind of make the colors flow better. And then I'm going to go through and look for some other colored elements in the kit to add. I think before I do that, I'm going to go through the, what is this, Amy Tan? Yeah, Amy Tan die cut pack, which has a lot of acetate elements in it too, like that phrase there, the best. And some of these other ones, I really like them, but they were just too colorful. Does that make any sense? I don't know, but they were just, the shades of the colors weren't really matching the palette that I had on the page already. So I'm just going to stick with items that match the colors I already have on the page. And I love that scripty word fun. It's really hard to tell in the video, but it's a gold, like a gold foil, but it has a little bit of iridescence on it too. I pulled off some of these stickers, and I go back, I don't think I do this on camera, I take those stickers off. I just thought it was adding too much. I really like them, but too many little spots of that draw your eye around and kind of take away from the main design. So I take those off later. Sticking with the circles, I'm going to add some enamel dots and some coordinating colors as well. And what else here? These little phrase stickers are from Pretty Little Studio. I don't think I end up finding any of those that go with my photo. A little purple, the purple little phrase here I felt kind of matched up with that line of purple that's between the pink paint and the blue paint. It kind of looks purpley. So I just put some purple elements horizontally there. And I just kind of fiddle around, go through some more of the embellishments in the kit, find a few other things to put here and there. I tried out this title instead, which is really cute. It says "Do Your Thing," which would have been perfect for this photo, but I did not like the color of the flowers on that, for this page anyway. So I decided to take that off. And I guess I'm just going to leave it like it is because I like it. I like it how it is. So now I'm going to start gluing all this stuff on. And I'm going to start by, oh, I guess I'm not going to start gluing all the stuff on. I'm going to put my journaling tag on first. I punched this from one of the 3x4 cards in the Project Life kit. I thought the word notes I was going to use and kind of put up there in the pink area, but it just wasn't fitting well, so I just kind of turned it so I covered up the pink part. And I have a nice little circle there for some journaling. Okay, so for, am I going to glue now? Maybe I'm going to glue. Yes. So for gluing, I decided to take the circles where I have the acetate kind of laying over them. I am going to stitch those together. So I started gluing it and I stopped myself and I thought, okay, I want to stitch these together. So I'm going to stitch those. So before I go to stitch, I'm going to start gluing down some of the other things so that I can remember where they go. So I am using, in the top left, This is a sheet of adhesive, and if you use a tape runner that has like tiny, tiny sticky dots, this is a whole entire sheet of sticky dots. It's made by ThermoWeb. I think if you just search ThermoWeb sticky dots, it's awesome for gluing down die cuts and acetate because you can't really see it through the acetate. If you have an intricate, die cut, that you either cut with your machine or you got in a kit or whatever, or even an intricate shape that you've punched, you just kind of lift up the protective sheet, the adhesive's underneath, you put your shape on. I kind of press down again with the top just to kind of give it a little bit more pressure and coverage, and then you pick it up and all the adhesive is stuck to the back to it. So it essentially kind of turns it into a sticker in a way. And then you just stick it right down. And it's a really good stick. It doesn't come off easily either. So I love using those sticky dot sheets. So I just glue down some of the circles that I know are going to stay in place, and I did use my edge distressing tool, which you can see there on the right, the little purple tool, to distress the edges. I went through and stitched with coordinating thread colors, so I stitched the pink on the pink, blue on the blue, and the green on the green, and just those 3 circles with the acetate over them, and just stitched a horizontal line. And I popped those off with pop dots, except the blue one, which I have right here because I knew the title was going to go over the blue one. The word the best, so all the other pieces are popped off except the blue one because I have the title over that one. What else? A couple more gluing things here with some pop dots. I think I don't add too much more. Well, of course I fill in my journaling. I do go through. I'm not sure if I show this. I go through and I get some mists in some coordinating colors. So I took a citron mist and a teal mist and a pink mist, and I just do a few really teeny tiny bits of splatters kind of in the pink and blue and green areas because I didn't want to add too many splatters because I really liked how the paint work stood out here. I make sure now to glue my chipboard on all the time, and sometimes I have to pick up my page. That's what I did right there, is pick up my page and hold it to the side to see if anything falls off, and that's how I know if I glued everything down or not. If something falls off, obviously I didn't glue it down, so I do that a lot because I sometimes forget to glue things down, so I just pick it up to make sure it's all attached somehow. So that is pretty much it. I love the way this came out. I loved playing with these paints, and like I said, this page was totally different than what I had envisioned to start with, but I love that sometimes because it's fun to play around and explore. So there you can see those die cut circles from those die cut sheets. Love that. And the layers of the stamped acetate there and all the other fun little bits. So thank you so much for stopping by today. Go check out the May Hip Kit Club kit, and I believe the June one is already released, so check that out as well. Thanks for watching. Stay scrappy, friends.